Francisco's Money Speech, Part 2. Do you wish to know whether that day is coming? Watch money. Money is the barometer of society's virtue. When you see that trading is done not by consent but by compulsion, when you see that in order to produce, you need to obtain permission from men who produce nothing, when you see that money is flowing to those who deal, not in goods but in favors, when you see that men get richer by graft and by pull than by work, and your laws don't protect you against them, but protect them against you. When you see corruption being rewarded, honesty becoming self-sacrifice, you may know that society is doomed. Money is so noble a medium that it does not compete with guns, and it does not make terms with brutality. It will not permit a country to survive as half property, half loot. Whatever destroyers appear among men, they start destroying money, for money is men's protection and the base of moral existence. Destroyers seize gold and leave to its owner's counterfeit pile of paper. This kills all objective standards and delivers men into the arbitrary power of an arbitrary setter of values. Gold was an objective value, an equivalent of wealth produced. Paper is a mortgage on wealth that does not exist, backed by a gun aimed at those who are expected to produce it. Paper is a check drawn by legal looters upon an account which is not theirs, upon virtue of the victims. Watch for the day when it bounces, marked account overdrawn. When you made evil the means of survival, do not expect men to remain good. Do not expect them to stay moral and lose their lives for the purpose of becoming the fodder for the immoral. Do not expect them to produce when production is punished and looting is rewarded. Do not ask who is destroying the world. You are. You stand in the midst of the greatest achievements ever of productive civilization, and you wonder why it's crumbling around you while you damned its lifeblood, money. You look upon money as savages did before you, and you wonder why the jungle is creeping back to the edge of your cities. Throughout men's history, money is always seized by looters of one brand or another, whose names have changed but whose methods remain the same: to seize wealth by force and to keep the producers bound, demeaned, defamed, deprived of honor. That phrase about the evil of money, which you mouth with such righteous recklessness, comes from a time when wealth was produced by the labor of slaves. Slaves who repeated the motions once discovered by somebody's mind and left unimproved for centuries. So long as production was a rule by force and wealth was obtained by conquest, there was little to conquer. Yet throughout all the centuries of stagnation, starvation, men exalted the looters as aristocrats of the sword, aristocrats of the birth, or as aristocrats of the bureau, and despised the producers as slaves, as traders, as shopkeepers, as industrialists. To the glory of mankind there was, for the first and only time in history, a country of money. And I have no higher and more reverent tribute to pay to America, for this means a country of reason, justice, freedom, production, achievement. For the first time, man's mind and money were set free. There were no fortunes by conquest, but only fortunes by work. And instead of swordsmen and slaves, there appeared a real wealth maker of wealth, the greatest worker, the highest type of human being, the self-made man, the American industrialist. If you ask me to name the proudest distinction of Americans, I would choose, because it contains all the others, the fact that they were the people who created the phrase "to make money." No other language or nation had ever used these words before, and men had always thought of wealth as a static quantity to be seized, begged, inherited, shared, looted, obtained as a favor. Americans were the first to understand that wealth has to be created. The words "to make money" hold the essence of human morality. Yet these words, for which Americans were denounced by rotted cultures of looters, continents, and now looters' credo has brought you to regard your proudest achievements as a hallmark of shame. Your prosperity as guilt, your greatest men, the industrialists, as blackguards, and your magnificent factories as the product and property of muscular labor, the labor of whip-driven slaves like the pyramids of Egypt, the rotter who simpers as he sees no difference between the power of the dollar and the power of the whip, ought to learn the difference on his own hide. as I think he will. Until you discover the money is the root of all good, you ask for your own destruction. When money ceases to be the tool by which men deal with one another, then men become the tools of men, blood, whips, and guns, or dollars. Take your choice, there is no other, and your time is running out. Part 2, Atlas Shrugged, Ayn Rand, Francisca's money speech.